Could you share with us maybe another memory, another moment of something where you felt we had that feeling like, you know what? Yeah, this is why I get up and do this every day. This is exactly why I get up and do this work every day, why I come out and I work with the people. This is why I do it. Like any sort of memory or experience, or just maybe even a noticing something you saw or felt that just reminded you of, yeah, this is why I do it. This is why I do it every day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one, the great staff that got us, afforded us to hire and bring on, they're one of the main reasons I'm there because they given 110% just off top, just in who they are. But also the young men that we serve, the young folks that we journey with and walk with, man. And we're committed to that walk. We've had cats come through, we're in our program, graduate from our or almost graduated from our program, and then get caught back up. We send a lawyer to them like that day. Not that a lawyer's going to just be able to get them off or whatever the jam is, but at least try to find some justice in the midst of it. And then they in the cell bawling that the lawyer told us because they thought we gave up on 'em. Nah,
Mm.
man. No, I want to see you when you're 50, when you're 60. And then we're
Right.
talking about what kind of cigar is that? Like all of a sudden, we are talking about a journey together in the midst of that. So I know one young man situation happened, man, and he's in our VIP work, which is called Very Important Process. And he's an MC, rapper, wannabe. He's good, man, but just found some different detours and challenges at times. He is in a shootout type situation. The next day he had this interview with us. And so he's sitting there with us. We asked some different questions. Six of us asked each young man some questions. And then somebody said, man, do you want to live? Do you really want to live? Then he paused for a long time, man. And then he looked up like with tears in his eyes and said, yeah. And we were all crying at that time. And it was just like, yeah, I do. Then the steps are you willing to take? Are you willing to do what it takes to live and then to be alive in those spaces? So I know that the situations that face a lot of our young people are complex and complicated. And not just the reason that situation happened with him because of other trauma, other situation that led to that spot. And so for him to trust that we can walk with him in that space is a gift to hold on to. And now he's on staff with us. Now he's on staff.
All
You know what I mean?
right. All right.
It's a beautiful thing. We took a bunch of young men to Ghana, West Africa last year for Rites of Passage that we do every odd year. So in 2025, we'll be bringing like 30 people to Ghana, West Africa for another Rite of Passage. Now we'll do the Rite of Passage in February, and it's 8 months and 3 days a month for learning the culture, the history, the situation we face now, epigenetics, all these kind of things like that. And then we go on this rites of passage, and it's so powerful. There's a documentary going to be coming out about it from what we did last year. Opposition gang guys, and they were all saying, man, like we shouldn't be here together like this. Where we come from, this is not what would happen. When they put that on social, the pictures of them together, man, everybody in the neighborhood that they were affiliated with was snapping back, like, "What are you doing? You with them?" And it's been such a turnaround in their own world, but even recognizing I used to think the same way that they're thinking like
Yeah.
that way as I'm in this spirit in this space where trauma came from. And they're only responding from their own trauma, right? They're only responding from their own the only way was in out of the 14 young cats who went with us, man, four five out of 15, four of them are on staff with us at the firehouse. But just continual being present because proximity to me doesn't often mean presence. So presence is I got my headphones out, I got my phone down, I'm listening to you, I'm present with you. That is done with sincerity and authenticity and trust really brings a healing force in those spaces like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, so we put the sign up and say that this is a safe space, but you try to live it out, and so then it becomes that reality to the people in terms of building trust. So, yeah,
Yeah.
appreciated your sharing there. Yeah.
Yeah. And it has to be, we have a phrase, a long walk in the same direction. You start on Lakeshore Drive. Oh, you start on Lake from wherever Lake is, starts off at in Illinois. And you're going to be at Lakeshore Drive in a minute. You're going to be at the lake. And it may take you a little while. It may rain, it may snow, may have to sit down, but you keep walking in the same direction. Pretty soon, that stuff you'll see the transformation of that. Sometimes people get discouraged and they turn a corner because it's just, and that's real. It just gets too hard. And not sometimes having a community
Yeah.
that can create, it can make sense that this is somebody else's burden to bear. But
Y yeah.
long walk and you'll start seeing things turn around.
and bringing them over to Ghana too, that has to, even in and of itself, have some transformative effects too. I just think about, before we started recording, I was just thinking about the ways that other folks in my life have been able to connect history and policy and things to stuff I was experiencing day to day. And a part of that for me too is just this realization that for a lot of us, there's this also disconnection from history and place and all that. And so I can only imagine going over there and this like welcome home. Like I can only
Right.
imagine the impact that has on the participants too.
It does, man. It does. First thing we got off the airport, I've been in Ghana a couple of times, and they got their luggage. I said, "You get your luggage, y'all. Stand right here. Tell me which ain't no white folk. First thing, there ain't no white folk. No way." They were like, "Oh, it's all us in this thing." I'm like, "Yep." And this is just the start of it when they walk out. So that, even though it's big, is a revelation of, wait a minute, we have stock and roots
That's
of
right.
that level of responsibility, taking care of running the whole airport or whatever level, secure the whole airport, all these particular things
That's right.
that is not oftentimes the case. And if it is the case, it's, oh wow, this is a black pilot, or oh wow, this is the first black person this way and that way.
Yeah.
Well, and yet, so sometimes it's like it'll be that anomaly. I'm gonna let somebody else do it. So are those little nuances like that, and then recognizing that either the depth of the trauma and the history is there, right? Of the Asante region and various things like that, recognizing that you could either be, and maybe from your life on the streets and the violence you engaged in, didn't even know that you were being a liability and creating more liabilities because of the trauma, because of how you were dealing with situations, and yet how British and Europeans came and created the same trauma. And so you're just rippling that, and you're going to constantly continue to ripple that into your own people,
That's
or you're
right.
going to be an asset. You're going to be an asset. And we've seen nobody get caught back up in jail. Everybody's, their housing is secured. Everything is in balance for them, man. So no recidivism, nobody's going back to jail. So it's a beautiful thing. So we're looking at taking some more in 2025, and we'll do this all the way until we can't do it anymore. You know what I mean? As a
Okay.
part of our warning. Yeah.
All right. All right. Yeah. Even as you were describing it, I'm just, the pictures just being painted in my mind. I'm just like, wow, this is something else. It's incredible. Like you say, like it's being able to see, oh yeah, we're the ones running the airport and security and all these different things in ways that it's not, that we don't always see over here. And I think that has an impact on sometimes even our level of possibility of what we maybe once thought was possible. Yeah, appreciate you sharing that story.